So topic of the discussion is the pigmentary disorders. So here the name of topic is pigmentary disorders. Maybe in some book it is known or written by the disorders of the pigmentation or disorders of the pigmentation. Pigmentary disorder or the disorder of the pigmentation. So actually these are the different colors of the skin. So pigments mean color. Pigmentary disorders mean disorders of the color of the skin. So there are the two types of the disorders of the pigmentation: hyperpigmentation and the hypopigmentation. One is the hyperpigmented. Skin can be hyperpigmented or skin can be hypopigmented. There are two types of the disorders of the pigmentation: hyperpigmented and the hypopigmented. Hyperpigmented mean color of the skin can be extra. Extra mean the skin can be black, extra black, or some parts of the skins are black. Skin can be brown, skin can be blue, skin can be violaceous or purple color. Clear? So that is the hyperpigmented skin. When the skin is dark black, dark brown, bluish color of the skin, violaceous color of the skin, or the purplish color of the skin, that are the hyperpigmentation of the skin. And the hypopigmentation skin can be white, not a normal fair skin. If the skin is brown, then some parts of the skin has the white patches. Okay, so that is the hypopigmented skin. So there are the two types of the disorders. Are pigmentary disorders are the disorders of the pigmentation is hyperpigmented skin, hypopigmented skin. Hyperpigmented when the skin has the blue, black, brownish patches, and hypopigmented means when the skin has the white patches. There are some different white patches on the skin is known as hypopigmented skin. Clear? So why these different pigmentations, hyper or hypopigmentation of the skin? What are the reason for the hypopigmentation and hyperpigmentation? So it is due to the melanin production. So color of the skin is due to melanocyte. Where? Melanocyte. So we have discussed that melanocytes will have the melanosome. What they have? They have the melanosomes, and then melanosomes will produce the melanin by melanogenesis. By melanogenesis, and this melanin will impart the color. It will impart color. Keep in mind, color of the skin is due to melanosomes or the melanocyte. But melanocytes in each and every individual is constant. Number of the cells in every individual, every body is constant. Melanocyte is a fixed. These melanocyte has the melanosomes in them. These melanosomes will produce the melanin by the melanogenesis, and this melanogenesis mean from the tyrosine it is converted by the biochemical reaction, it is converted into the melanin. So this melanin will impart the color to the skin. If we say that melanocytes are constant, then why different skin has the different color? Different skin has different color due to the location of this melanocyte. What is that? Location. Due to location of melanocyte. Other is the due to the production of the melanin. Due to production of melanin. These are the two reasons that skin have the different colors. First reason is due to location of the melanocyte, and other is the production of the melanin. Skin has the different colors. Again repeating for the new joiners, why there are the different colors of the skin? Why the skin is hyperpigmented, hypopigmented, fair, black, and brownish? So the color of the skin is due to melanocyte. Melanocytes have the melanosomes, and melanosomes will produce the melanin by the melanogenesis, that will produce the melanin from the tyrosine amino acids, and this melanin will impart the color to the skin. So why different skins has a different color? It is due to the location of the melanocyte, or it is due to the production of the melanin. If the melanin production is more, then color of the skin will be black, brownish. If the melanin production is less, there are no less or fair skin. We have discussed there are three types of the melanin: eumelanin, pheomelanin, neuromelanin. Clear? So in the albinism disease, there is no production of the melanin, no melanogenesis, so there is no color of the skin. So let's discuss when on the basis of the location of the melanocyte, what are the different colors of the skin. So we have discussed that normally our skin has the upper portion. This is the upper part of the skin. Okay, and this is the basement membrane. Okay, there is a basal cell layer. Normally, I am going to discuss the normal. And this is the dermo-epidermal junction, and here is the lower to that, this one is the dermis, and lower to that will be a hypodermis. So this part of the skin from here up to basement membrane is the epidermis, and from here to here is the dermo-epidermal junction, and lower is the dermis. Clear? Here is the dermis. So when we have discussed normally, melanocytes are present here. This is the melanocyte. After every 10 keratinocytes, there will be one melanocyte. So these red colors are the melanocyte. If the melanocytes are here, they will produce the melanin, and unit of the melanin and the keratinocytes is 1:36. Clear? So if the melanin is here, melanocytes are here in the basement membrane, and the melanin is also here, then it will impart the color to the skin. That color of the skin will be brown. What will be the color of the skin? It will be brown skin. If the melanocytes and melanin are present at the lower epidermis, what is that? Here is the lower epidermis. Then it will impart brown color to skin. If the melanin are here, or melanocytes both are here in the upper epidermis, When the melanocyte and the melanin are here in the upper epidermis, if the color pigment and color pigmentary cells are in the upper epidermis, then it will impart the color to the skin will be black. What will be the color of skin? Black. So it means on the location of the melanocyte and melanin, it will impart different colors to the skin. If the melanocyte and melanin are in the lower epidermis, it will impart brownish color to the skin. If melanin and melanocytes are in the upper epidermis, it will impart the blackish color to skin. If melanin and the melanocytes are in the dermoepidermal junction, this is the melanocyte. Okay, so this is present and this is the melanin. If the melanocyte and melanin both are present at dermoepidermal junction, it will impart the violaceous color to the skin. Which one color? Violaceous. Violaceous means purplish. Purplish. Purplish color to the skin. Clear? If melanin and melanocytes, melanin are present in the deep dermis. Here, this is the deep dermis. Here, then it will provide the bluish color to the skin. That will impart the bluish color to the skin. Clear? Bluish color to the skin. So look at there. It means normally melanocytes are in epidermis, maybe in the lower part or in the upper part. Normally, melanocytes and melanin are in the epidermis. If it is present in the lower epidermis, color will be brown. If it is present in the upper epidermis, color will be black. So there are some other examples where the melanocyte and melanin are present in the dermoepidermal junction, then the color of the skin will be violaceous or the purplish. If due to any reason, any abnormality, congenital or acquired, if the melanocyte and melanin both are present in the deep dermis, then it will impart the bluish color to the skin. So what idea you have gained from this site? So you have gained that melanocyte and melanin, because melanocyte will produce melanin. They can be, both can be epidermal, it can both can be dermal. So melanin can be epidermal or melanocyte or the melanin can be epidermal and it can be dermal. So dermal melanin and the epidermal melanin. So how will you identify that melanin is dermal or melanin is epidermal? If color of the skin is brown or color of the skin is black, so what is meant by it? So if color of skin is black or brown, what do you think? It is a epidermal or the dermal melanin?
Der, Dermal.
Epidermal.
It is a definitely it is epidermal. What is that? If the color of the skin is black or brown, it is suggestive that these are the epidermal melanin. Epidermal melanin. But epidermal melanin mean if the color is brown, then deep epidermal. If the color is black, then superficial epidermal. but both are epidermal melanin. If color of skin is blue or color of the skin is violaceous. Violaceous means purplish. So that is suggestive that melanin and melanocytes are dermal plus dermoepidermal junction. If it is a dermal melanin or melanocyte, that color will impart the blue. If it is violaceous, it will impart the dermoepidermal junction. So it means melanin and the melanocyte can be dermal. So on the basis of the color of the skin, on the basis of the location, we can identify. And other differentiation we can identify on the basis of the Wood's lamp examination. So where you have discussed on the color of the lion. So maybe on the basis of the color of lion, and other is the on the basis of wood lamp examination. How will you identify by the wood lamp examination? So on the basis of the wood lamp examination, you will identify whether it is a epidermal melanin or it is a dermal melanin. So wood lamp examination will give you the idea about what is that? It is a epidermal or it is a dermal melanin. Whether it is a epidermal melanin or dermal melanin. Okay. So first going into detail of the Wood's lamp examination. If there is an epidermal melanin, then the color of the skin will be epidermal melanin. Color of the skin can be black or brown. If there is a dermal melanin, color of the skin can be violaceous and blue. Clear? But it is this color is on the basis of the color of the skin. If the color of the skin is black, then superficial epidermal melanin. If the color of the skin is brown, then deep epidermal melanin. If the color of the skin is violaceous or purplish, then dermoepidermal junction melanin. Dermoepidermal junction melanin. If the color of the skin is blue, that is due to the dermal melanin or deep dermal melanin. So naked eye can differentiate. Which one eye? Naked eye. On the basis of the naked eye, you can easily differentiate. But if you are a dermatologist and you want to differentiate that whether it is the epidermal melanin, whether it is the dermal melanin, then you will do the wood lamp examination. What will you do? You will do the wood lamp examination. First, I tell you what is the wood lamp. If you know about the wood lamp, then you can differentiate. Actually, a wood lamp is a mercury arc covered by the wood filter. So it is the mercury arc like this one. What is that? It is the mercury arc and it is covered by wood filter. These are wood filters. Wood filters mean these are wood filters. Okay, and wood filters are made up of the barium silicate and nickel oxide. So this is made up of the barium silicate and this is made up of nickel oxide. So this is the wood lamp. So wood lamp has the mercury arc. It is covered by the wood filters. Wood filters are composed of barium silicate 91% and only 9% is the nickel silicate. So this wood lamp will produce the light that is the dark in color. It will produce the dark light. This dark light cannot be seen with naked eye. Why? Because this dark light is the in the range of ultraviolet. So you can see the ultraviolet light in the normal sunlight. When you look at the normal sunlight, just you can feel that is a yellow color sunlight. Actually, it is a component composed of 7 colors, but you can't see these 7 colors with naked eye without prism. So wood lamp produce the
Can you
dark
repeat,
light.
please, sir?
Okay, okay. So wood lamp is composed of mercury arc and covered by the wood filters. Wood filters are made up of barium silicate. It is made up of the nickel oxide and it produces the dark light that cannot be seen with the naked eye. Why? Because it is the ultraviolet light. So ultraviolet light cannot be seen with the naked eye. Why? When you look at the normal sunlight with the naked eye, so just you will feel there is a yellow color sunlight. But when you put this yellow color sunlight into prism, then you can feel red, violet, blue, orange, different colors of this yellow light. So these different colors are the ultraviolet lights. So this dark light is also in the ultraviolet light. When this ultraviolet light puts falls on skin, falls on the skin, it will some colors will become extra prominent. Look at here. What is that? It will extra prominent. Maybe if it is a okay, some colors of the skin will become extra prominent. Which one color will become extra prominent? Especially there is a which one color? This black color or brown color. Black or okay, and the blue color also accentuates. It means this blue color, brown color, and the black color. They will what will they do? They will accentuate. Accentuate means become more prominent under the wood lamp. Accentuates. So under the wood's lamp, so when this dark light falls on the skin, you know skin may have different colors, especially blue color. So when this blue color accentuates in your book, it is written as accentuate. Accentuate means becomes blue, extra blue under this wood's lamp light. So that will give you the blue color. Is accentuate. That will give you the idea that this is the dermal melanin. Dermal melanin. So why this is the blue color of the light? Why the skin has the blue color? Skin has the blue color due to the Tyndall effect. What is the effect? Tyndall effect. Skin has the blue color due to the Tyndall effect. So wood lamp examination is clear. Wood lamp is composed of mercury arc covered by wood filter made up of barium silicate, nickel oxide. Color of the light is dark light, that is the ultraviolet light. When impart the skin, it will give some colors more prominent, especially blue color will become more prominent or the accentuate the blue color. Okay, but actual color of this lamp is somewhat violaceous. actual color of this is somewhat bluish. Actual color of this lamp is bluish because it has some blue lights in it. But the color emitted by this lamp is will be a dark light. Light emitted by this wood lamp will be dark light. Actual lights of this overall lamp will be bluish lights. It gives bluish coloration, but light emitted by this lamp will be dark light. So when you look the skin under the wood lamp, you can easily differentiate the blue color of the skin from the normal color of the skin. If you look that this is the blue color of the skin, it means there is a dermal melanin or the melanocyte. When you feel other skin is okay, but some parts of the skin are bluish in color, what do you think under the wood's lamp? That bluish color is due to dermal melanin or melanocytes. Clear? So blue color of the accentuates the under the wood lamp. So what is the Tyndall effect? Have you ever seen the after the rain there is a rainbow? Have you ever seen the rainbow? When you look at the rainbow, so this is the drop and this is the light fall on the drop. So when the sunlight falls on the drop of the rain, so this will scatter into different colors. It will differentiate, it will divert, divergent. It will divert into different colors, diffract into different colors, because this drop of the rain behaves like a prism. It behaves a prism. So same phenomena is a Tyndall phenomena. Same phenomena will also happens with the bluish color of the light. So this is this epidermis. Okay, here is the epidermis. This is the basement membrane. Lower this one is the dermis. What is that? Dermis. So here in the dermis, there are the melanocyte and melanin. Melanocyte and melanin. So this will impart the blue color to the skin because melanin and melanocytes are deeper in dermis. So when light falls on the skin, then all the colors of the light will diffract. Only the color that at the maximum wavelength that will reach to this point and then diffract. So this color is the blue. Blue color of the light has the different wavelength that will reach up to the dermis and it will impart the blue color to the skin, and this is known as Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect means divergent of the normal light into different colors. So blue color light has the maximum angle. It will diffract at the maximum angle. I gave you simple idea. Maybe it is a Tyndall effect will be tough for you. What is the color of the leaves of the plant? What is the color of the leaves of the plants? Maximum plants have the green color. Okay. So maximum leaves of plants, maximum, they have the green color. Whether actually they have the green color? No, their color is not green. When the light falls on the leaf of the plant, then different lights or the different wavelengths of the light will diffract. So when light falls, different wavelengths of the light will diffract. Only green color of the light. that can be visible. So therefore, leaves of the plants appear green. Same as here, when the light falls on this skin, then all the different colors of the light will diffract at different angles. Only blue color of the light has the maximum wavelength. It will diffract at maximum angle. Therefore, this part of the skin will impart blue color to the skin. That is the Tyndall effect. Now, before going into the further discussion, now you will help me. There are how many kinds of the pigmentary disorders? Two kinds of the pigmentary disorders: hyperpigmentation, hypopigmented. Hyperpigmented means skin can be blue, brown, blue, or purplish. Hypopigmented means skin can be whitish, extra whitish than normal skin. Normal skin can be brown, normal skin can be fairy, normal skin can be white, but when there is an excessive white patch on the skin, so how will you differentiate whether this hyperpigmentation is due to what reason? This hyperpigmentation can be due to the melanin and melanogenesis. If the melanin and the melanocyte are at the epidermis, upper epidermis, then black, lower epidermis, then brown, thermoepidermal junction, violaceous, and lower in the dermis, that will give the bluish color to the skin. Other is the wood lamp examination. When you observe the skin under the wood lamp, if the blue color accentuates, that is the Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect means that is the bluish part of the light has the maximum wavelength and it will diffract at the maximum angle. Clear? So we have discussed that this hyperpigmentation or hyperpigmented skin can be due to dermal and due to the epidermal melanin or melanocyte presence. Clear? So let's move on and classification of the hyperpigmented skin. Now it will be very clear. Hyperpigmented, hyperpigmented skin. So hyperpigmented skin can be due to dermal and the epidermal melanocytic lesion. So hyperderm, it can be due to two types of the lesion. Hyperpigmented skin can be due to epidermal melanocytic lesions. It can be due to the dermal melanocytic lesions. So when the melanocytes are in the epidermis and when the melanocytes are in the dermis. So when the melanocytes are in the epidermal melanocytic lesion, then the skin color can be brown or skin color can be black. When the melanocytic lesions or melanocytes are in the dermoepidermal junction, it can be purplish, and if it is the deep dermis, it can be blue. So blue, purplish, black, and brown color of the skin are the hyperpigmented skin. So this hyperpigmented skin, now in this discussion, we will discuss the hyperpigmented, and next discussion we will discuss the hypopigmented. So hyperpigmented skin is due to epidermal melanocytic lesion. It can be due to dermal melanocytic lesion. So So what are the epidermal melanocytic lesions and what are the dermal melanocytic lesions? So when the melanocytes are in the epidermis, so first lesion can be melasma. This melasma is the epidermal melanocytic lesion. So here in the dermal melanocytic lesion, first lesion is the melasma. What does it mean? It means melasma can be due to dermal melanocytic lesion or melasma can be due to the epidermal melanocytic lesion. So it means melasma can be dermal and melasma can be epidermal melanocytic lesion. When melasma is due to epidermal and dermal both, when the melanocytes are in the epidermis and melanocytes are in the dermis, such a melasma is known as compound melasma. Compound melasma. First is the melasma. So melasma can be due to dermal, it can hyperpigmented skin or hyperpigmented lesion. So these hyperpigmented lesions can be due to epidermal melanocytic or due to dermal melanocytic lesion. So first epidermal melanocytic lesion is melasma and first dermal melanocytic lesion is also melasma. It means melasma can be epidermal or melasma can be dermal melanocytic lesion.
Sir,
Yes, yes. Screen is not clear. Yes, yes. So in this session, we are discussing the hyperpigmented, not a hypopigmented, because pigmentary disorders can be two types, hyperpigmented and hyperpigmented. So in the hyperpigmented disorders, there are the epidermal melanocytic lesion. It means problem in the melanocyte that are present in the epidermis and problem in the melanocytes that are present in the dermis. So epidermal melanocytic lesion, dermal melanocytic lesion. So first epidermal melanocytic lesion hyperpigmented skin is the melasma and first epidermal melanocytic lesion that will lead to the hyperpigmented skin that is melasma. It means melasma can be epidermal or melasma can be dermal. If there is a epidermal melanocytic lesion leading to melasma along with dermal melanocytic lesion leading to the melasma, it means when melasma is due to epidermal melanocytic lesion or melasma is due to dermal melanocytic lesion, such a melasma is known as compound melasma or mixed melasma. Compound melasma or mixed melasma. So what is this? Melasma can be due to epidermal melanocytic lesion and melasma can be due to dermal melanocytic lesion. So when the melasma is due to epidermal or melasma is due to dermal both, it means when dermal melanocytic lesion and when epidermal melanocytic lesion and dermal melanocytic lesion both will lead to melasma, such a melasma is known as compound melasma or mixed melasma. So when someone asks you, melasma is a dermal or epidermal? Melasma can be epidermal, melanocytic or hyperpigmentary disorders, and melasma can be dermal, melanocytic, dermal melanocytic hyperpigmented disorders. So melasma is epidermal, melanocytic hyperpigmented skin, and melasma is a dermal melanocytic hyperpigmented skin. So when melasma is due to epidermal and dermal both melanocytic lesions, such a melasma is compound melasma or mixed melasma. What are the other lesions? So I am continuing this on same page. Here is the dermal. Here I am going to with the epidermal melanocytic lesion. First we discuss this melasma. Second one, epidermal melanocytic lesion is the lentigine. Lentigine. Okay. RGINA. Lentigine. And second in the dermal is the ceruloderma. CRULODERMA. Ceruloderma. So second dermal melanocytic lesion is the ceruloderma. Ceruloderma mean three things. Ceruloderma is composed of Mongolian spot. Mongolian spot. Okay. Nevus of Ota. Nevus of Ota. Nevus of I2. So these Mongolian spot, nevus of Ota, nevus of I2. Clear? And third one, epidermal is the Becker's nevus. Becker's nevus. Third one here is the congenital melanocytic nevus. Congenital melanocytic nevus. Fourth one in the epidermal melanocytic is the Caffulemacule. CAFE. Caffulate. It is silent. Caffulemacule. And fourth one here is the acquired melanocytic nevus. Fifth one here is the hormonal or endocrine disorders. Endocrine disorder. And fifth here is the lichen planus. Lichen other name of the freckle is the aphids. Aphids. LIDES. EPHE. LIDES. So these are the different hyperpigmented disorders of the skin. Look at here. Lentigine is the hyperpigmented skin disorders. Ceruloderma. But lentigine is the dermal melanocytic lesion, and ceruloderma it means Mongolian spot, nevus of Ota, nevus of I2. So these are the dermal melanocytic lesion. Becker's nevus is a epidermal. Congenital melanocytic nevus is a dermal. Caffulemacule is a epidermal. Acquired melanocytic nevus is a dermal. Endocrine disorders is epidermal. Lichen planus is a dermal. And freckles are the aphids are the epidermal. So let's discuss one by one in detail. So let's start from the melasma. So first our discussion we're going to start with the melasma. 11. Page number 11. Here is the, I will, in this today's lecture, I will show you the pictures, discuss the photo images, and also discuss some cases. So first one is the melasma. So melasma is the epidermal melanocytic lesion. It could be due to the dermal melanocytic lesion. It is very common acquired hyperpigmented disorders. So it is the epidermal, dermal acquired. It is not a congenital. It is acquired hyperpigmented disorder. Clear? So it can be seen in both male and female. It can be seen in male and female. It does not mean it is only melasma can only be present in male. It can be present in male and female both. So melasma, it is the epidermal, dermal, melanocytic acquired hyperpigmented disorders can be seen in male and female. Clear? But it can be differentiated from the chloasma. So melasma versus chloasma. What is the sometime someone called the melasma as chloasma. It means other name are melasma also called as chloasma. CHLOSMA. Melasma also called as chloasma, but there is a little bit difference. Also called chloasma, but there is a difference. Chloasma will happen in the patient that is pregnant. It will happen in pregnant patient. So when the patient is pregnant, it means chloasma is more common in the female because male never pregnant. So chloasma is happens in the patient that is female and also pregnant, and it is due to the hormonal disturbance. So in the pregnant female due to hormonal disturbance. So this chloasma will settle on its own. So it will subside of its own after the effect of the pregnancy hormones. So it is will subside its own. Subside its own. It means when the pregnancy is over, then hormone will become normal. So chloasma will subside its own. So it means chloasma is more common in the female, especially pregnant female, and other it will subside its own. But melasma is can happen in the male and female, and it remains persistent. This is the difference. Remain persistent. Whether chloasma is more common in the pregnant female and subside its own, but melasma remain persistent. What are the etiologies of the melasma or causes? Etiologies. So most common etiology is the sun exposure. First one is the sun exposure. When you will expose to the sun, there are some ultraviolet lights that can increase the melanogenesis. So ultraviolet light can increase melanogenesis. It means melanocyte will produce more and more melanin. So melanogenesis will increase. So these melanogenesis can be dermal and epidermal. It will impart brownish skin coloration. Second one etiology is the drugs, especially oral contraceptive pills. Okay, phenytoin, these oral contraceptive pills and phenytoin can aggravate the melasma. So they can aggravate melasma. And third one is the hormonal etiology. Hormonal etiology means pregnancy, same oral contraceptive pills, hormone replacement therapy that is done in the infertile female. So hormone replacement therapy. So these are the different etiologies, which one? Sun exposure, drugs, hormonal, and the hypothyroidism also. Hypothyroidism. This is the also hormone hypothyroidism. So hypothyroidism, HRT, hormone replacement therapy, pregnancy, oral contraceptive pills, they can aggravate the melasma. So clinical features. What are the clinical features of the melasma? Or the clinical presentation? How many pages? 12, 13. Clinical feature or clinical presentation. When the patient or melasma patient is presented to you with patient is presented with brownish blackish. Why? Brownish or blackish. Brownish blackish color at the various site of the skin. Why brownish and blackish? Brownish mean it is the deep epidermis and blackish mean superficial epidermis. So deep epidermal lesion and this is the blackish is the superficial epidermal melanocytic lesion. So patient will present with the brownish blackish coloration of skin. That brownish coloration of the skin is due to excessive melanogenesis. Due to excessive melanogenesis, melanin synthesis will increase. So definitely due to excessive melanogenesis, skin will appear brownish or blackish. So which one part of the skin will appear blackish or brownish? Site of the presentation, especially malar area, nose, forehead. So these parts of the skin, malar area, nose, and the forehead are the malar eminence. Okay, forehead and the nose, when they appear blackish or brownish, that you can consider this could be a during pregnancy or after pregnancy, and male and female both, so that you can call it the melasma. So next one is the types of the melasma. Types of melasma on the basis of their site. On basis of site involvement. So when which one site the melasma is present, so you can divide it into the first one is the centrofacial, central part of the face. Second one is the mandibular, on the mandible, and third one is the maxillary. So these are the three types of the melasma on the basis of the site of its presentation. If it is presenting on the centrofacial, that is most common. So most common is the centrofacial, maybe because it is present on the malar eminence, nose and forehead. And these two are the less common type of the melasma. So what is the treatment of the melasma? How will you treat the melasma? I have told you chloasma is the subside on its own, but melasma remain persistent. So therefore, it need the some treatment. So first line of the treatment, here I am discussing first line of treatment. So you will go with the Kligman formula. Kligman formula. Kligman is a scientist and he has made a formula by the combination of the three drugs. In this Kligman formula, there is a hydroquinone plus tretinoin plus steroid. This is the first line of the treatment. You will give the combination of hydroquinone, bleaching agent, tretinoin, and the steroids. So which one steroid? Especially hydrocortisone. Hydrocortisone. Why you are giving these steroids? To prevent irritation, because it is the anti-inflammatory and also prevent the irritation produced by the upper two drugs like the hydroquinone or the tretinoin. What is the hydroquinone? Hydroquinone is the bleaching agent. Bleaching agent. It means it will bleach because it is a brownish, blackish discoloration of the skin. So you want to bleach it. Clear? Hydroquinone. But important points related to the hydroquinone is its side effect. When you use the hydroquinone, so females are more aggressive when they think about their face. If on the face of this female there is some pigmentation, brownish, blackish spot on the nose, on the cheeks, on the forehead, so they become more aggressive. They want to fair their face as soon as possible. So then these females, look at this female, very beautiful lady, smiling lady, okay, very bigger eyes, okay. So such a lady has the brownish blackish parts on the nose, on the forehead, on the cheeks, malar area. So such a female is very depressed. So she will apply all this Kligman formula on her complete face, not on the area of the melasma, complete face. So in this Kligman formula, there is a hydroquinone, bleaching agent. So that initially hydroquinone will release all or remove all the brownish and blackish spot. But on this a normal skin, it will impart other color. It will give the color to skin. On the affected area, it will remove brownish and blackish spot. But on the normal skin, it will give the color to the skin. Hydroquinone is a bleaching agent. On the affected area, it will remove brownish, blackish melasma spots, but on the normal part of the skin, it will give the color to the skin. That is the adverse effect of the hydroquinone. Okay, so skin will become dark. And this side effect of the hydroquinone is the exogenous ochronosis. What is that? exogenous ochronosis. This is the exogenous ochronosis is the side effect of the hydroquinone. So side effect of HQ, hydroquinone. So what is the side effect of the hydroquinone? Is the exogenous ochronosis. That is the grayish discoloration of the skin due to excessive topical application of the hydroquinone. What is the exogenous mean? External. So topically excessive use of hydroquinone will impart grayish color to skin. That is the exogenous ochronosis. So maybe they can ask in your MCQs, what are the adverse effect or side effect of the hydroquinone that will give the color to the normal skin, that is the grayish color to the normal skin due to the prolonged topical use of the hydroquinone. This is the first thing. Second thing, you can't use this Kligman formula more than 6 months. Why? Because it has the steroids. So steroids should not be used more than 6 months because they can interfere with your immunity. So this is the second reason. Third reason, this is the first line of the treatment. Which one? Kligman formula is the first line of treatment. If the Kligman formula is not available to you, then you will go with the tyrosine inhibitor drugs. So second drugs are the tyrosinase inhibitor. Tyrosinase inhibitors are also known as depigmentary agents. Depigmentary agents. Depigmentary means they will remove the pigmentation. Tyrosinase inhibitor. So tyrosinase is an enzyme that enzyme is responsible for conversion of the tyrosine into the hydroquinone and so on. So this is the tyrosine inhibitor. So especially tyrosine inhibitors, first one is the hydroquinone. That is the bleaching agent. Second drug you can give is the azelaic acid. Azelaic acid. Third drug that you can give the kojic acid. These are the deep pigmentary agents. Fourth drug that you can give the arbutin. Fifth drug that you can give is the glycolic acid. Glycolic acid. And also you can give the vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Okay. So these are the depigmentary agents, second line of the treatment. And when the patient will go to their homes, especially female, definitely patient will ask you, doctor, what should I use in my home along with these drugs? So you will give the advice. Advise them for third line of the treatment is the sun blockers. So you will advise them to use the sun blockers for prolonged period of time. So advise them sun blockers or sunscreens. So this is the third line. What are the sunscreens or sun blockers? So you have to apply the sun blockers 24/7. 24/7 to prevent the melanogenesis. And used 24/7 and should be applied after every 3 to 4 hours. So these sunscreens or sun blockers should be applied after every 3 to 4 hours. How much amount of the sunscreens or sun blockers should be used? So its amount should be equal to the 2 rupee coin. 2 rupee coin, and this size, when they spread on the hand equal to the 2 rupee coin, it should be applied on face. Applied on face. So equal to the 2 rupee coins, put it on your palms of hand and then apply it on your face, not more than. Okay,
Don't have
so
the
this is the
coin.
treatment. Advise the sunscreens or sun blockers, and also give the Kligman formula, and the tyrosine inhibitors are the depigmentary agents. Clear? Okay, ji. Next one. We have completed our melasma. Now let's move on to the other, that is the
If you
Cyriloderma. Okay, okay. Any question?
the rupee coin, what should you use?
2 rupee coin, what should it mean? 2
If
rupee
you
coin
don't
mean? Yes,
coin,
yes.
have it, what can you use?
2 rupee coin mean?
If you don't have the rupee coin, what can you use to measure?
Oh, if you don't, okay, okay, silent please. If you don't have the 2 rupee coin, what should be used? Any coin you can use. It means size should be equal to the 2 rupee coin. You know, every coin in every country size is different. Okay, in my Pakistan, 2 rupee coin is not available. 5 rupee coin or 10 rupee coin is available. So in Chinese, so there is a one, I think, Mao. One Mao coin or the one yuan coin is available. So you can use it. It's
But
just only for understanding, not equal to. You are going to very strict and very straightforward. If 2 rupee coin is not available, then you will not apply it. It is just for your understanding. Okay. Okay. Next one. Okay. Thank you. Now, next one. First, we have discussed our melasma, and second one, maybe you are going to discuss after the melasma is the cyriloderma. What is that? Cyriloderma. So next, move on to the cyriloderma. So it is the epidermal melanocytic disorders or the dermal melanocytic lesion. It is a dermal melanocytic lesion. What is that? Cyriloderma is the dermal melanocytic lesion. So examples of the cyriloderma are the first one example. Examples are Mongolian spot. What is that? Mongolian spot. Second example is the nevus of Ota. And third example is the nevus of I2. So first one going to detail, we have to discuss what is the nevus. You should know about the nevus. What is nevus, and then we will discuss the nevus of Ota, nevus of I2, Mongolian spot. We will discuss this Mongolian spot in our neonatology, maybe in next lecture, but I will give you the idea here, Mongolian spot. So what is the nevus? Nevi. Nevus is a singular and nevi are plural. So nevus is also known as birthmark. It is the birthmark. Okay, it is the cluster of the melanocyte. What is the nevus? It is a birthmark. It is the cluster of melanocyte. It means melanin producing cells. Cluster of the melanocyte. So depending on where these clusters are present, we divide it. Okay. So here is the where this cluster is present based on the location of this cluster. Location of this cluster of the melanocyte, we call it epidermal and we call it dermal nevus. Location of this cluster of melanocyte, cluster of the melanocyte is a nevus. Cluster of the melanocyte is the NEVUS, nevus. So based on location of this cluster, this nevus can be epidermal nevus and nevus, and this could be a dermal nevus. This could be a dermal nevus. So epidermal nevus is also called as epidermal melanocytic nevus. Other name of the epidermal nevus is the epidermal melanocytic nevus, and other name of this epidermal melanocytic nevus is nevus is the pigmented hairy nevus. Pigmented hairy nevus. Other name of this pigmented hairy nevus is also known as Becker's nevus. Becker's nevus. Very simple. So on the basis of this location of the cluster of the melanocyte is nevus. This cluster of the melanocyte can be epidermal, can be dermal. If it is a dermal, then could be a Mongolian spot, MS. It could be OTA. It could be I2. I2, OTA, Mongolian spot. If it is an epidermal cluster of the melanocyte, it is known as epidermal melanocytic nevus or pigmented hairy nevus or Becker nevus. What is that? Becker's nevus. So look at the first page of the lecture. When we discuss the classification of the nevus or the classification of the pigment dermal and the epidermal. So look at this page. Hyperpigmented skin is the epidermal melanocytic lesion, dermal melanocytic lesion. So first one is the melasma. We have completed the melasma, epidermal, dermal, its clinical manifestation and treatment. Second one is the lentiginous. So we'll discuss it later. But third one is the Becker's nevus. So let's discuss this is the Becker's nevus. So this Becker's nevus is the epidermal. What is that? It is the epidermal. So it is a nevus. So nevus means birthmark. Birthmark is the cluster of the melanocyte in the epidermis. So Becker's nevus is also known as epidermal melanocytic nevus, pigmented hairy nevus, or Becker's nevus. If it is a dermal, then could be a Mongolian spot, nevus of OTA, nevus of I2. So let's discuss the Becker's nevus, second one. Page number 20, 21. So let's discuss the Becker's nevus or the pigmented hairy nevus. Pigmented hairy nevus or the Becker's nevus. Okay, so what is that? Actually, it is a birthmark. Nevus means birthmark, but it can be seen in the adolescent. What is that? It is a birthmark, but it can be seen in the adolescent age. It means in the birth age or at the time of the birth, it will not be clear, but at the adolescent, it will be clear. Why it is clear or visible in the adolescent age? Why? So look at their clinical presentation, it will be very clear. So clinical feature. Clinically, it is hyperpigmented patch. Patient will present with hyperpigmented patch. It is a patch, keep in mind, not raised area of the skin. It is a hyperpigmented patch with hypertrichosis over upper trunk with hypertrichosis. What is that? Hyperpigmented mean it is a nevus. It means it is a cluster of the melanocytes in the epidermis. So definitely it is a hyperpigmented because cluster of the melanocyte will give the different colors to the skin. Hypertrichosis. Why it is hypertrichosis? Because it is the androgen sensitive. Androgen sensitive. Androgen sensitive mean it is the testosterone. So we are discussing about the Becker's nevus or the hairy hyperpigmented hairy nevus. So let's look at here. So it is actually birthmark but can be seen with the adolescent age. Why? Actually it is a birthmark. Why appears in the adolescent age? Clinical feature will tell it. It is hyperpigmented patch. Hyperpigmented patch is due to the cluster of the melanocytes. Due to cluster of melanocyte in the epidermis. So it is the hyperpigmented due to cluster of melanocyte in epidermis, but it is the hypertrichosis. Hypertrichosis means excessive hair on the body. So hypertrichosis is the androgen sensitive. Androgen sensitive means testosterone sensitive. So when at the adolescent age, person reach to the puberty, then testosterone effects on the hyperpigmented patch that will become hypertrichosis. So here are due to the testosterone or the androgen. So when this birthmark or the person reach on the adolescent age, so due to the testosterone, this hyperpigmented patch will become hypertrichosis. Mean there will be excessive hair on this hyperpigmented patch. So this is the reason that Becker's nevus are birthmark but appears on the adolescent age due to the androgen sensitivity or the testosterone sensitivity. Clear? What is the site for the Becker's? So site. So site for the Becker's nevus is the upper trunk. Where? Upper trunk. Upper trunk. Unilateral. Okay, most common it is unilateral. So you will tell me, it is more common in male or female? Becker's nevus is more common in male or female?
Female.
Where? I repeat again.
Male.
Male. Why? Because females have no sufficient androgen. Whether female has the small amount of the testosterone, because female don't have the testes, still they have the testosterone, but it's very minute amount due to the fat. Okay, but the male have the testosterone, so it is the androgen sensitive. It is more common in the male as compared to the female. So next one is the what is the treatment? How will you treat it? There is no effective treatment regarded to the Becker's nevus. So no effective treatment or the medical treatment. No effective medical treatment, but you can go with the laser association hair removal. Laser associated hair removal, because it is the hypertrichosis, so you can remove the hair with the help of laser. So laser associated hair removal is the treatment for the Becker's nevus. So let's move on to the other nevus that are the dermal. So dermal nevus are the ceruloderma. So dermal nevus, page number 23, some dermal nevi are the ceruloderma. So first one dermal nevi are the Mongolian spot. Mongolian spot. It is the first example of the ceruloderma. So it is present, it means cluster of the, this is the epidermis, here is the epidermis, and this one is the basement membrane, here is the dermis. So it means cluster of the melanocytes are in the dermis. Here is the cluster of the melanocyte. If the cluster of the melanocyte is in the dermis, first I tell you its pathophysiology. It will be very simple for you. So in the normal cases, neural crest cells, neural crest. So melanocyte cells from the neural crest will migrate to the, they'll migrate to the, this is the basal cell layer, in between the basal cell layer of the epidermis. So from the neural crest, these melanocytes will move and adjust here, and then they will give the normal color to the skin. So melanocyte from the neural crest go and migrate and place themselves in the basal cell layer in between basal keratinocytes. What is that? Melanocytes will migrate from the neural crest and then adjust themselves between the keratinocytes of the basal cell layer. Are they which one? Stratum basale. This is the normal pathophysiology. But in the nevus or the Mongolian spot, the melanocytes do not reach the basal cell layer. They don't reach at their definite position. So what will happen? So they will cluster of this cluster of the melanocytes. Okay, it is present in the dermis. So where it is present in the dermis, they don't reach on the their normal position. This cluster of the melanocytes called as nevus, it will adjust themselves into the dermis. So this cluster of the dermal melanocytes is known as nevus. What it is present in the dermis? What will be the color of the skin? What will be the color of skin in
Blue, sir.
Mongolian spot? Okay, I think my voice is repeating. What will be the color of blue? Definitely, it is
Blue.
present into the, yes, dermis. So color of this Mongolian spot will be, what will be the color? It will be bluish discoloration. What is that? Bluish discoloration. Bluish. Other name of, in some books it is written as the slate gray. Slate gray discoloration or the bluish discoloration of the newborn baby or the infants. Especially it is the birthmark. So it is present at the time of birth. So when at the time of the birth you feel there is a bluish discoloration or slaty gray or slate gray discoloration, where site is important. Site for the Mongolian spot. In the infant, these are mostly present in the lower back. Lower back. Lower back means lumbosacral area. Lumbosacral areas. Okay, so this is the lumbosacral area is the normal site for the, if lumbosacral area or the buttocks appear bluish in color or buttocks skin appear bluish in color, that is the suggestive for the Mongolian spot. So how will you treat this Mongolian spot? Mongolian spot, it is the self-limiting condition, no treatment, self-limiting condition. Clear? And next one is the nevus of Otta. 24, 25.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes.
If it becomes serious in babies, can we use steroid like hydrocortisone?
No.
Typical.
No. I tell you why. Because it is the cluster of the melanocytes. If you use the steroids in the baby, you look at here. If you use the steroids in the baby, steroids will interfere with the immunity. Already newborn babies have the weaker immunity. Okay, still you are going to weak the immunity further. So what will happen? There are more chances for the life-threatening infections. So this is not a life-threatening situation. It means if you use the steroids, you are putting the baby on the other life-threatening infections. So you want to remove this bluish coloration or you want to survive the baby? Definitely our first preference will be to survive the baby other than removal the bluish discoloration. Now clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next one is the nevus of Otta. Nevus of Otta. Nevus means birthmark. Otta means the melanocytes are in the dermis but in the cluster form. Clear? It is the nevus mean cluster of the melanocytes, and Otta mean it is the cluster of the melanocytes and dermis. Cluster of melanocyte, that is the nevus but in dermis. So color will be a bluish because it is a dermis. So what are the clinical presentation or clinical feature? Bluish color presentation where along with the trigeminal nerve. Which one? Bluish coloration of skin. What is the site? Site is the ophthalmic or trigeminal nerve along with trigeminal or trigeminal nerve. You know, trigeminal nerve has the three branches. Which one? First branch is the ophthalmic, facial, and the maxillary. Okay, so actually, look at here. Maybe this is the trigeminal nerve. It is innervating the eye and it is innervating the maxilla. So the skin that is innervated by the skin that is innervated by the ophthalmic branch, it means eye involvement, and skin that is innervated by the maxillary involvement. So it means bluish coloration will appear on the conjunctiva, upper part of the eye, and also on the maxillary area. So maxillary area will be a bluish skin and the eye will be a bluish skin, and also there will be some scleral pigmentations. Sclera will also have the pigmentation. So what is the therapy
The
of?
third branch is mandibular branch.
Yes. And next one is the treatment. So just treatment here is the laser therapy. You will not use the steroids. Treatment is the laser therapy. Which one type of the laser therapy? You can use the name of the laser therapy is the Q switched mode laser. Q switched mode laser. Okay, so this is the laser therapy that is known as Ruby or Q switched mode laser therapy. First, just you have to remember the name. Name of the therapy is the Q switched mode laser therapy. Next one is the nevus of I2. Nevus, cluster of the melanocytes of I2. It means there's a bluish coloration, but only site is changed. So it is the bluish coloration on the site. Where is the site? Site is the posterior supraclavicular, posterior supraclavicular plus lateral branch of the cutaneous nerve. Lateral branch of cutaneous nerve. This is the area. Collectively, we call this area as the acromioclavicular nerve area. Acromioclavicular nerve area. Acromio means acromion of the scapula, clavicular part, but posterior, not anterior. Posterior supraclavicular, it means posterior above the clavicle, and lateral branch of the cutaneous nerve. It means it is present on the back of the clavicle and the upper part of the scapula. That is known as acromion process and the clavicular process. It means back and upper or superior part of the scapula. So these both, it means aorta and I2, nevus of aorta and nevus of I2, both are unilateral. Okay, not a bilateral, it is a unilateral. It will be present on the one side of the eye and one side of the upper part of the clavicle. So treatment is same. Treatment is same like aorta. Nevus of aorta, it means Q switched mode laser therapy. Okay. So next, here are some questions, and we will discuss the acquired melanocytic and also congenital melanocytic lesions in next one. So first I want to discuss some questions, maybe it will help you. So here is the question number 1. You can write it. Maybe in last lecture students asked me to share the questions, but in these days I am extremely busy. I'm going to take some makeup exams with your seniors, like yesterday was a forensic exam, then will be a dermatology, so on. So here is the 32-year-old lady come with complaint of bluish lesion. Bluish lesion mean dermal lesion. It is a bluish in color, so it will be a dermal. Over left side of the forehead, or left side of forehead. Left side mean unilateral. If we says over forehead, it mean bilateral, left and right both. So it is a bluish lesion. Bluish lesion mean dermal. Left side mean unilateral of the forehead and left eye. So it means only one eye is involvement. So unilateral. So it shows the irregular bluish lesion in the left superior conjunctiva and forehead, along with left superior conjunctiva and forehead. So what is your diagnosis? Very simple.
Melasma.
Nevus of aorta, not a melasma. In the melasma, conjunctiva is not involved. Keep in mind. Melasma is pregnancy related. Melasma is not a unilateral. It is present on the forehead, not a one side. left or right, complete forehead. Malar eminence.
Nevus
Okay.
of Otta.
So it is the bluish lesion. So bluish lesion means dermal, left side of forehead and the left eye. It means it is unilateral forehead and eye involvement. So eye involvement means ophthalmic branch of trigeminal nerve and superior conjunctiva and forehead. So again, ophthalmic branch of the trigeminal nerve is involvement. So it is the Otta, nevus of Otta. Nevus of Otta is a dermal melanocytic lesion. So it is the nevus of Otta because bluish discoloration. So it is the dermal melanocytic lesion, nevus of Otta. So next question. Okay. So next question is the pigmentation due to the increased melanin production. So here is the pigmentation due to increased melanin production. It means hypermelanogenesis, but not melanocyte proliferation. Clear, but not from the melanin proliferation is seen in. So here are the two way. One is the pigmentation. It means hyperpigmentation that can be due to increased melanin production. It means hyperpigmentation can be due to the melanogenesis or it can be due to the increased number of the melanocytes, that is the proliferation when there is a cancer. Okay, melanocyte proliferation. So hyperpigmentation can be due to the increased melanogenesis or the melanin proliferation. So there are the two diagnoses. One diagnosis is due to the hypermelanogenesis. One is due to melanogenesis and other is the melanocyte proliferation. When the melanocytes will increase in number, actually melanocytes are constant. So first one, the causes of the hyperpigmentation are the, so here melanocyte proliferation is nevus, can be due to the melanocyte proliferation. Okay, silent, maybe screen is not clear or no. Nevus is due to the melanocyte proliferation. Melanoma, cancer of the melanocyte is due to the melanocyte proliferation, and lentigo. Okay, so this is due to these three things: lentigo, melanoma, and nevus. These are due to the melanocyte proliferation. So there are the other three conditions that are due to the melanogenesis, increased melanogenesis. Okay, so that is especially that is due to the increased melanogenesis is the freckles. Okay, caffeolate macules, freckles. Other name of the freckle is the aphids. Aphids. So here your question is pigmentation. It means hyperpigmentation due to increased melanin production, but not due to melanocyte proliferation, is seen in freckles. Are the caffeolate macule. So here your diagnosis, when the question is that hyperpigmentation that is due to increased melanin production but not due to melanocyte proliferation is seen in the caffeolate macule, are freckles. Nevus, melanoma or lentigo is the hyperpigmentation due to the melanocyte proliferation. So here answer is the freckle. Freckles, other name of the freckle is the aphids. So this is the aphids are the freckles that is due to hypermelanogenesis. When the question is, look at that, question is hyperpigmentation or pigmentation due to melanocyte proliferation, not melanin production. I am changing the question. Pigmentation due to melanocyte proliferation, not due to increased melanin production, is nevus, melanoma or lentigo. All lentigo, melanoma and nevus are due to melanocyte proliferation. Clear? Other question. Most effective topically applied bleaching agent. Most effective topically applied, keep in mind, topically applied bleaching agent. Which one is the most effective topically applied bleaching agent? I have told you.
Hydroquinone.
Hydroquinone. Well done. HQ. Hydroquinone. HQ. Okay. Next one is the 30, page number 30. An obese lady of 40 years old presented with black back neck and PCOS. What is your diagnosis? Here are the two things. One is the obese lady. Lady is obese and age is 40 years. Neck is black. Black neck means hyperpigmentation. So if the neck is black and the PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, most commonly polycystic ovarian syndrome is due to the hyperinsulinemia. Insulinemia. Okay. So diagnosis is the acanthosis nigricans. Acanthosis nigricans. So this is your diagnosis. Acanthosis nigricans can be seen with the polycystic ovarian syndrome, can be seen in the obese ladies, and when the back of the neck is blackish in color, we call it acanthosis nigricans. That is due to the formation of the fibroma, fibroblast tissue. So there will be lot of the fibroblast tissues on the back of the skin. So therefore, it will give you the different colors, especially black color of the skin. So there are the some, okay, these are some questions. So I will share the images in the group. So don't worry. So here are the some other bleaching agents. When you apply to your skin, that your skin will become whitish, and they're present into the different substances or different chemicals. So these are the contact leukoderma. What is that? Contact leukoderma. Derma means derma, your skin. Contact, when you contact this chemical to your skin, color of the skin will change. So skin becomes white. Skin becomes white due to contact with chemical. When skin, okay, so when skin becomes white, due to contact with the chemicals, condition is known as contact leukoderma. So which one chemical skin can make your skin white? That is the monobenzyl ether of hydroquinone. Monobenzyl ether of hydroquinone. So when you apply the monobenzyl ether of hydroquinone, your skin will become white. So that is known as contact leukoderma. Skin becomes white due to contact with the chemical, and that chemical is the monobenzyl ether of the hydroquinone that is present in the rubber. Okay, that is the most potent. So there, this is the skin. Okay, now so be here. I'm going to send or share some images. It will be very clear to you. So I will share the image in your group of the dermatology and the pediatrics. So in our next lecture of the dermatology, we will continue from the congenital hyperpigmented lesions, acquired hyperpigmented lesions, freckles, okay, and also some hypopigmented lesions. Okay, so here we have discussed the some one and some are still remaining. So inshallah in our next lecture we will discuss the acquired melanocytic lesions, especially junctional neva, compound nevus or intradermal nevus, congenital hyperpigmented lesions, freckles and lentiginous lichen planus. So along with that, we will discuss some hypopigmented lesions. So still here, be here. In our next lecture, we will discuss acquired hyperpigmented lesions, congenital hyperpigmented lesions, freckles, lentiginous, and some hypopigmented lesions. Then our section will complete. So I'm going to share some images of the today's lecture